That was Echoes in the Dark by Connie Josie Christ and Don't Let Them Out by Lila McLaughlin. Anyone else have the total creep and ick? That was amazing. Another round of applause for these amazing filmmakers. Oh my God, I'm so frightened right now. I have so many feelings. Well, let's have a moment. We're live streaming to folks at home and recording. So hello, everyone here. And I'd love to introduce some of our filmmakers. Do we have any of the filmmakers in the house tonight to come on down? We have Connie and Lila. Come on down, please. Give these folks a round of applause for this amazing block that we just got to watch. Oh, my God. That's exactly what I wanted from tonight. Please come. Yes, if you had anything to do with the filmmaker film, come down, please. Oh my goodness. I hope you both are so proud. Yeah, how we feeling?
Very good.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful filmmaking tonight. Come join us. Sit next to me. Come be with me. We're going to pass the microphone in and out. We'll do introductions in just a moment. Lovely work. Awesome job. Oh my goodness. So everyone, my name is Tristan J. Schuler. I'm here with BraveMaker Film Festival and BraveMaker.org. We are a non-profit organization here to tell brave stories because brave stories change the world. We support independent film, television, film, all of this multimedia works, and we only can do what we do through the support of folks like you who come and support film. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much for watching online. Let's start with some intros because it's late. And I'm scared, and I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. But what is your name? Tell us who you are. Tell us what you had to do with this film, and then we'll have some questions.
Okay, great. My name is Lila McLaughlin. I'm the writer, director, and producer of Don't Let Them Out, the feature film, a psychological horror thriller.
Yay. My name is Bonnie Root, and I'm also a producer on Don't Let Them Out, and I did some acting in it as well.
A little bit, just a little bit. Wonderful. Let's pass this one. How about that? Sharing is caring.
I'm Connie Jo Seekers. I'm the writer, director, producer, and actress of Echoes in the Dark.
Oh my goodness. Okay, for our writers, directors first, and even actors, I don't know how long you've been a part of this project, so maybe there's an answer for you as well. But let's start over here with Lila. What brought you to this? How did this come about? I have so many questions about Don't Let Them Out. I'm so spooked, but I want to know the origin story of this and what you really wanted to get out of making this film.
Yes, thank you. First, I want to say thank you so much to BraveMaker for having us and recognizing this film because it is a psychological horror thriller, but there are very deep-rooted, relatable themes, obviously, in there. You know, debt, displacement, a woman who's struggling and desperate for money, as we kind of all are these days. But so how I came about with this film, long story short, this property is in the family, and it's been out there for a while, and it was built like in the 40s and 50s, and it's spooky, it's creepy. That is an original house that's on there with the tool shed. They've since built other surroundings. It's a very big property. That's just like a quarter of it that we shot at. But every time I'd go out there, one time I saw this creepy note out there that someone.
Why were you out there in the first place?
Oh, we go out there to like camp and ride dirt bikes and things like that. And yeah, it's like that's like, but and we sometimes stay at that creepy house, and it was super weird and stuff, and so it kind of inspired my mind of like, this is really like a horror thriller film set, you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, that spider was real, by the way. That's a real live spider. We just happened to catch it like at the right moment of it moving. But yeah, so we didn't do much like staged. All the cobwebs are all original. The set designer, but our ghost. But basically,
the creepy props and set decor, like the car chair, all that was where?
Like all that was. I mean, we built a lot of it, obviously, out there. But so I saw this creepy note out there, and it was obviously somebody had left it as a prank. But it really like got my mind going of like, oh my gosh, what if there was like this door that you don't open? And I guess it was like an internet prank at one point or something. And so. And then we always joke about there's probably some buried money out here and stuff. And so So it kind of inspired this really scary story but I wanted to infuse some humanistic elements of, like, again, a woman struggling, and what would you do in her place? If you went out there, would you really stay and dig and try to find this money if you had no money to your, like nothing to show for your life? And so I also wanted to tell the story from the point of view of like an older female, an over 40 female, because I think there's a lot more at stake when you're a little bit older. When you're, young and in your 20s, the world is kind of still in the palm of your hand, and you can go out and try to reinvent yourself or find a new job or whatever. But this woman really has nothing to show for her life. So she goes out there, inherits this property, and it's like cursed and haunted and all the
I don't think I ever want to inherit anything from my family ever. I'm okay. Like, I'm good with what I have. Thank you for all of this information. How Bonnie, is this correct?
Yeah.
Bonnie, how was your origin story into coming into this project? What drove you to it? What excited you about it? And what did you hope to get out of this, making this film?
Well, actually, Lila and I have known each other for a while, and we collaborate on multiple things. So when she contacted me, I guess it's been almost 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and she's, had said that she had the script that she had written, and it was kind of based around this property. And I'd actually never read a horror thriller from her before, so I didn't know quite what to expect. She's just amazing dramatic writer, comedy, every other genre. But so she sent me the script, and I immediately was drawn to it. I mean, I thought it was just very eerie. I loved the backstory. I loved all the history of the family, the secrets that she uncovers, the mental health issues kind of, running through. And I was definitely drawn to the character just because I love kind of taking apart someone like that has so many layers, and also is a challenging character to portray because she's not necessarily very likable. It's hard to find, I think, sympathy for her right away. So I think kind of like, puts us as the audience, like, it poses some interesting questions to us, to our judgments and,
I think you do such a great job at making her relatable and likable at this point, this very low point of her life, it seems, where she just has nothing to lose. I felt very relatable to you. I was
good.
I think you did a great job portraying her as someone who we can root for. Lovely. Yeah, I just wanted to affirm you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's tricky because, it's like she's rightfully so. She's angry, and she has bitterness, and she has kind of isolated herself, and a lot of bad things have happened to her. And, I wanted to play that truthfully and honestly, and not try to go in that direction. Well, let me try to make her be more likable or softer, like,
I think she's fighting for her life.
Bring that.
That's relatable.
That grit. So yeah.
The only time I wanted to smack her was when she didn't lock the door after the first note. I said, "Girl, lock the door."
I know. I asked myself, I'm like, really, with the first money, why didn't you go to a hotel?
She needed money. She's doing rough. She needed to get out of the state. I questioned it, and I was like, "Oh no," she explained, "We need to get out."
Yeah, it's deep
down. She's deep down on her luck. Lovely work. Yeah, let's pass this over to Connie as well, this microphone. Connie, awesome job producing, writing, starring in this. Both of you are fabulous actresses. Really, really lovely job both. But Connie, what brought you to this project? What made you want to make this film? And what are you hoping that it says and does?
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for mental health. A lot of my films that I produce and act in have some kind of mental health theme. And I was talking to a friend of mine who unfortunately lost her husband, and she was grieving and going through this phase, and she was talking about, like, she doesn't want the darkness of herself to drag her down. And that really got me thinking. I'm just like, yeah, we all have this, like, dark identity in us, that little voice saying, like, you're not worth it. Just end it now. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to make a film or concept something that you kind of bring that identity up in front of you, and it's haunting you in some kind of way. And I also wanted to make something about love and grief and how people deal with losing somebody that's close to them. So yeah, all of a sudden I just started having these weird fucking dreams. And I was just like, I have to write this down. And I've never written anything before. I've never directed anything before. This is my first time.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I've been in the industry for a very long time as an actor and producer, but I never thought I would actually write something and direct it and get to this point. But
Congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
really a feat.
I wrote it, and then I was just like, oh, fuck, I need to direct this. Because it's so visual, and I'm such a visual person. Like, I do abstract acrylic paintings, and I'm just like, I'm not going to hand this to somebody else to fuck up.
I can see this. One of the things I wanted to ask you was, are you a poet? There are so many beautiful images and visions in here that it felt so poetic. So the fact that you're a painter, that makes complete sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I even had the shots already ready to go, and then like my DP was just amazing. Like, I was like, I want to do this, and he's like, okay, what if we actually push and we do like a whole oneer?
Mm-hmm.
And the big oneer that I always had in mind was when she you go from the forest to the bed, and she gets up, she goes all the way through the living room to the kitchen, and then she turns around, and you have this like this memory.
She looks off to the couch.
Right.
That was one of my favorite things.
That was all
that was
done in
absolutely
one
gorgeous.
shot.
DP's idea, your idea?
My idea.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Would not have first time director. That's crazy.
That was the only one shot I had. And then we did another one shot in the foresty area that my DP came up with, and then the shot of me coming down the hallway was supposed to be broken up, and he was like, let's just do this in one. Anyways, losing my point. But
but I actually have a question on all of
Yeah.
this and these visions, if you don't mind. Let's get into some questions, and then we'll take one or two from the viewers as well. But really a filmmaking feat. I thought your short was really lovely work.
Thank you.
I mean, just absolutely beautiful picture. Such outstanding chemistry between the two of you as well.
yes, there's a story behind that.
Do you want to share it?
Yeah, Scott I met on a previous set that I was producing. He was the AD, but he also does like acting, directing, or whatever. And I think it was maybe 6 months after that production, we became boyfriend girlfriend.
Okay, great. So there's real chemistry there, and you
Yeah,
can
it was
see
real
it.
chemistry.
It really is quite outstanding, and you
Yeah.
can grieve it because you're like, oh, these two love each other, and now he's gone.
Well, I worked really hard too because I haven't acted in a long time, and I was just like, do I want to act in this piece or do I just want to direct it? And I was just like, no, I can do it. I can act in it. And I actually had a friend on set that watched my acting performance and helped me personally with that. And I worked with Scott a lot because it was just like, yeah, we need this chemistry, and it's very important to me. And I've been on sets before where I have a kissing scene or a love scene with somebody that I just meet that day, and I'm just like,
And you got to fake it and figure it out.
what do we do?
Yeah.
So that was very, very important to me. So I worked with Scott a lot. Like, we went on like little mini dates and stuff like that, and did a lot of body chemistry stuff, like just look into my eyes for however long you want to, like that kind of stuff to get that chemistry going.
Yeah, lovely work.
But yeah, overall the piece is about love. It's about grief. It's about just battling with ourselves. The dark figure is actually Sarah, the darkness of her trying to drag her down. And then you have, her fiance haunting her in a good way. He's haunting her, reminding her of like what's worth living for, and bringing her back up to life. So, and the ending is kind of, you can interpret that how you want to.
But thank you, Bonnie and Lila. I'd love to talk to you about maybe your co-star a little bit, and the casting and the writing of the dialogue in this. I thought you had such a clean and crisp way of saying just enough.
Yes.
Anytime we were like, what is she thinking? It's that, but nothing more. And such a beautiful way of depicting that. But with, Jimmy Realtor and
Yes.
all of that, such interesting, strange, and bizarre dialogue. I'm wondering if you have any stories or anything to share about what that chemistry was like, or what you really were intending on that very odd relationship where he knows something, but not everything. And how was that experience?
Right. Well, just so you know, so I've been a screenwriter. That's my first hat. I've that's my, what I've been doing for the last like 15 years. So this is my first feature film as well. So it's just, for me, dialogue comes very easy because I listen to people talk all the time and things like that. That's a lot of as a screenwriter, you should be doing, is going to coffee shops and going places and listening and making sure that it sounds very fluid and flowing. So Jimmy is, he's an interesting character. Actually, Louis Ferrer is an amazing actor. He's on House of David now and the Emmy Award-winning Shogun. And he used to be on Breaking Bad. He's an amazing actor. So it was just, exactly, to just give a little tease because Jimmy does know what's going on because he's heard the rumors around town and he says, like, no one will come near the property. Obviously, they know. But I'm going to leave it up to people to decide what, has happened at the end of...
I have so many questions for you when we're offline. You don't even... I'm going to hold you captive tonight.
I want to, leave it up to people to decide but obviously he knows about the money and he sees this woman digging out in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden she doesn't want to sell the house anymore. So obviously, I just kind of wanted to set that up to let the audience decide what they think happened, to Shay, basically.
And how is for you filming majority as the only actor on the call sheet, I'm sure, and then these days where you get to work with Jimmy Realtor, and what was that chemistry like, and what was that experience like, working alone, and then bringing in someone to this strange world that you have taken over almost, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a really unique challenge to be mostly by yourself. And there is a lot of questions, like we were constantly in conversation about, am I saying too much? Am I reading out loud too much? Like, where are we striking this balance, of like kind of keeping it, what's the progression of, how everybody kind of, thinks, oh, do you really talk to yourself that much out loud?
When you think
and
you're
like,
going
no,
crazy, you do. Yeah.
Well, and when you're all alone, you actually really start to do it, So it's kind of, it is a real thing. I mean, I guess, there's both pros and cons to being by yourself, because like having a dance partner, there's someone to constantly play off of. In this case, I had to really go deeply into my imagination, into, what are the sounds that I'm hearing and what am I picking up on and what's driving me right now? What's going through my mind? Am I reflecting on my life? Am I, making myself miserable thinking about all the mistakes that I've made and how I'm going to find this money and I'm going to set everything right in my life and get this comeuppance, So yeah, I mean, in some cases it made it, I guess, like we were on a tight shoot and all of that, so me like being on my own,
How many days did you film? How did you
control that?
How many days did y'all film in total?
Oh, I was just going to say one more thing about the question about Louis. So Louis Ferrer and I have known each other since 1998. We were on a series together in New York where we played siblings, and we've been on like several different shows together. So he was really able to show up, and we could I mean, we did some rehearsals. We we ran stuff, and but yeah, there's such
there was a lot of unspoken strangeness between the two of you. It was clear,
yeah,
lovely.
Yeah. Louis is a strange guy. In the best way.
And that relationship is strange.
He's an amazing. But I did want to add that we did a lot of prep. Obviously, we had a shorter shoot, but we did a lot of prep, like 2 months of just going through the character with her, and obviously you don't see this, but behind the scenes, as she's doing actions, I'm talking her through a lot of this, obviously, so that it's not just like she's guessing or whatever. It was a lot of that stuff behind the scenes as well. So, so that's, obviously don't want to give away too much of the movie magic, but yeah.
Oh, but we're here to get the movie magic. I have so many practical questions, but we don't have too much time. I have one more question for you, and then we're going to take something from anyone in the live audience here. But a comment for both of these films. I thought the sound design was just absolutely stunning, and it's my favorite thing about this genre. And I think both of your films really lived up to it. The film score. Who was your composer? What was this? It was absolutely gorgeous. And your sound design, every scratch, every stomp, every hit was just the most effective and It's scary, truly. So, any thoughts, any comments about your sound design, compositions, and what was behind that?
Yeah, Matthew James did my score, and he's an amazing composer in Los Angeles. And it was great because he was actually working in an office where they had like a post-production sound team there too, and they worked hand in hand together. So it was really nice to like have my sound team doing everything and my composer all working tangent together in one space. So it worked really nicely. But yeah, I came to Matt. I met Matt previously from, the pre-COVID days, and I've always wanted to work with him. And I came to him with this project, and he was like, "Yes, I want to work on an independent film." He's been working on techie stuff for a while. And I remember coming to his office, and he, gave me the first score, and I was just like,
stunning.
Okay, I think we're done.
It was like that, really. It was really that easy.
There were some tweaks, but it was just like, man, you fucking nailed this.
And what did you need to communicate to him beforehand, or did he just get it?
I communicated some things to him, like there were some elements that was just like, okay, this is way too heavy. Like I really wanted it to be a slow burn of the creepiness that was coming in with the dark character. So like the living room thing, I was just like, no, bring it down. I want people to be like, wait, did I just see that? Sort of thing. And then at the end, we punched it up. And what's very unique about the film is that the score in the beginning of the film is actually the score in the end of the film, but backwards.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to watch it again.
And it's really cool, and it worked really well.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, this is great.
Wow. Any thoughts, comments about your sound design as well for Don't Let Them Out, and the animal noises and the grunts and the hits? I mean, just so effective.
Yes. No, I love. So our composer was Alec Pirro of Gramoscope. He's an amazing composer and just built that suspense. But one thing that I really wanted to weigh heavy on when I first had conversation with him was silence. I wanted the film to have a lot of moments of just silence because it creates that dread, but also I wanted people to hear her fear. That was my whole thing. So there's a lot of moments where there is no music or sound design, but our actual sound design person, Robert Ryder, he is a horror film freak. Like, he used to be on the team that worked on Barbarian and all these other films.
And what's his full name? What's his name?
Robert Ryder. So he's an amazing sound design. I mean, I'm sure you heard like the surround with the keys and the jump scares and things like that. So he's also a Foley artist. He does all those sounds were mostly from scratch. Like, he doesn't bring in like sound. He actually does it himself. So he's an amazing. Yes. Okay. So that's a good point. The title cards. Really
the creepy title cards that set the scene so well.
There is a huge fun fact, and so the title cards with those twings. So we created those ourselves. So on the property, there's this. When we were scoping out different areas, there's this creepy, like, cobweb spider infested real harpsichord on the property, and so it was out of tune, and every time we would string it, we're like, oh my God, we're conjuring some devil here or something. It was so creepy, and we're like, we have to take this and actually infuse it into the movie. So that's the little,
And that's what's under the title cards.
Exactly. So, and if you notice, it's like day 1, it's 1 note, day 2, it's 2 notes, and then by day 8, it's just crazy. And that's kind of to signify that each day it gets crazier and crazier. And I don't know if anyone picked up on that, but that's how the trajectory of the notes go. But yeah, so that's the thing, is the creepy harpsichord on the property.
Bravo. I love that. That's a great story. Thank you for making her say that.
I forgot about that.
Important.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Yes.
Use it. It creates a life. Any questions out here in the world for our films, for Lila, Bonnie, Connie, for our films Echoes in the Dark and Don't Let Them Out Tonight? All right. Are these microphones good to go that way or no? Yeah? Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Thank you guys for showing your films today. They're both really creepy, but also both really compelling in so many ways. So that was really awesome. So I wanted to ask, what was for both Connie and Lila, what was the editing process like for you guys for the short film and also for the feature?
Editing process. It was actually pretty great. I was fortunate that we have a really great, very seasoned studio editor. Our editor is Eric Strand, who edited Donnie Darko, Tomb Raider, Lethal Weapon movies, things like that. So I was fortunate to be introduced to him. I've worked in the business for many years, so I just kind of utilized my contacts in that way. But it was a long process, obviously, to get everything right, because once you get back from set and you put everything in and you're like, okay, now really that's where the story builds, and that's where the magic truly happens. All the elements have to come together. It took a long time. It took us a year to edit it, but that's because there was VFX elements, and obviously you have to get the sound design and composing right and things like that. But it was pretty smooth, and we would have talks about, the pacing. That's very incredibly important. And actually our first cut was much longer. It was almost 2 hours, and we had to cut it down to make sure that it flowed. So there's a lot of that happens too in the editing process to make it right. And then obviously, screening it, making sure it works. But as far as editing goes, it was pretty smooth. I was fortunate to have a really great editor on the team, and our whole post-production team, really amazing people.
That fully understands the genre deeply.
Exactly.
Editor. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other important thing was Eric Strand actually was he worked under Dario Argento. He's like the man of horror in Italy. We rip off a lot of his stuff, in America. But anyways, so it was great that he had that sense and that capability of understanding horror and the pacing of it, and how the letting those creepy moments really live with the audience, and not giving away too much. So, it was a great process. As far as for me too, an incredible learning process to sit with someone like that who's worked on big studio films and also independent films, and teach me like what the process is as well. So.
Anything from Connie about the editing process of Echoes in the Dark?
Yeah, the editing process for me was very easy as well. I brought my editor early on. I actually helped my editor produce his feature film. So he's a writer and director, and he also does editing for like true crime. So I brought him on very, very early on, and he read the script. He actually gave me some notes on the script. Josh's character was actually a little bit less in the film until he kind of gave me some feedback, and he said, I want to see more of Josh and the relationship. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that scene in the bathroom was an addition to the original script. I didn't originally have that, but brought him very, very early on, which helped out a lot. And I also brought him into the rehearsal process. So he actually had that idea of like the bed shot of it being kind of a one take kind of thing. So we had a dolly to kind of help do that. And it worked out perfectly. So when it came to the actual sitting down and editing, it was a lot easier because he was kind of already in the process. But he did do one thing that I was like, no.
Uh-oh.
So that kiss scene, the kiss scene of the proposal, I wanted my Pride and Prejudice moment. Right? That was like the important thing. And he cut that up. And I was like, nope, hold on the wide.
Oh, it was gorgeous, though.
Hold on the wide. So that was like my one biggest editing note with him, but everything else he did.
It was a gorgeous kiss. I almost wanted to applaud. I forgot we were watching horror. Yeah. I was like, oh, I love love. Oh, God, one of these guys are going to die.
I want my Pride and Prejudice moment in this.
Any other questions before we sign off for today? Any other questions out here? Yeah, let's do one more. Two more, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. One more right here.
Both the short and feature film were amazing. Thank you so much. I had a question about in the feature film, the very beginning, the hallway scene, and it just felt very different from the rest of the movie. And were you just showing, the entry, the intro credits, and just wanted to hear more about that. and how you thought of that.
Actually, yes, that's a good question. The entry credits is it's supposed to be the room that, you know, the don't open the door, and I kind of threw that in there as a little Easter egg of, is anyone going to pick up on that? So I kind of planted that of, like, you know, the walls, or there's like blood stains on the walls and it's crumbling, and it's the opening credits, obviously, but I just wanted to, it's the inside of the room, basically. So
So the room that we never get to see,
it's the it's the torture room, yeah, because obviously it's a property where there was the circus, and you saw all the, you know, the degenerate people that worked on but they were also tortured and maimed and, you know, deprived of food and sorry?
Fed to the bear.
Yeah, and fed to the animals when they got sick. So basically that was like the torture room, basically. So.
Oh, God, such ick. All right, one final question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you both. This is for Connie and Joe. I noticed there's like a red theme with your short. You had the cardinal, and then the ghost is red. Is there like and then you had like the blood with her getting her foot cut. So is there a reason behind that? Was there something that you're going for with that? I mean, there's something that I picked up on it, but I want to hear from you.
Yes. So if you picked up on it, Sarah wears green and red a lot. And then Josh is in more of like the blue, grays colors. And yeah, that was intentional. It was very, very intentional. And if you've seen The Notebook, Jamie, what's her name? Rachel McAdams' character is in red a lot. And so I kind of wanted to play with the color theme in that. And then when I had that vision of the ending shot of her, you know, walking up to this tree, I was just like, what are colors that can really illuminate that? And just having her in a red dress made sense. And then it was just like, okay, everything that she wears then is going to have red in it, except for when she's in her depressed state, then she'll be more blue and green colors and gray, because she's not happy anymore. So the red was like the love that she had with Josh, and then when that went away, she was gray and blue.
Lovely. All right, my filmmakers, what is next for you? What is next for the films? And where can we find you for the folks at home and for the folks here? How do we continue supporting you? Let's start with Connie.
Yeah, Echoes in the Dark is still going in the festival run. This is our 7th or 8th festival. And you can find me at Connie Jo Sechrist, Instagram, Facebook, all those platforms. Scott and I, my boyfriend now, have a psychological feature sci-fi that we are trying to develop and make, and I'll be directing and he'll be producing.
Brilliant. Awesome. Echoes in the Dark, everyone. Give a round of applause for us. And for Bonnie and Lila, I want to hear. How do we find you? How do we support you? What's next for you and this film as well?
So we just started our festival run in March. We world premiered at CineQuest, and this is our 3rd festival, actually. So we're continuing on our festival journey. We're actually already getting offers from sales and distribution, so hopefully we'll be wrapping that up soon, and then this will be on a platform where people can see it. And then we're actually setting up for our 2nd feature, Bonnie and I. We're both producing again. I wrote and directed this film. It's a psychological thriller, and Bonnie is starring in it as well. And so, yeah, we're actually casting now as we speak. So,
how do we audition?
Yeah. Well,
we're offline.
I'm kidding. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. And then where you can find Don't Let Them Out, we have our Instagram, Don't Let Them Out Film. If you'd like to follow our journey, that's where we are at.
Thank you. And Bonnie, where can we find you? How do we keep supporting you? And what's next week?
You can find me at Bonnie Root, at Bonnie Root on Instagram, or the same on Facebook. So, yeah.
Perfection. Everybody, don't let them out. Give me a round of applause for Don't Let Them Out. Thank you. Each of you are outstanding. Thank you, everyone watching at home. And you're live streaming. We're wrapping up now. Have a great spooky night. Brave stories change the world. You are the story. You're amazing. Oh, my goodness. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Check out the rest of our programming that we have. I think we have 38 films screening right here tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. We have 2 more days of the film festival. Follow your programs. We have so much amazing programming and such beautiful filmmakers. Great interview, man. Oh, my goodness.